Hello, David Zaritsky for the Bond Experience. Welcome back. Now, you're probably saying to yourself, David, I clicked on this, but my gosh, you must be scraping the bottom of the barrel for topics. I mean, really? James Bond keychains? What is there to talk about? But I'm here to tell you, this may be a slightly more interesting video than you banked on. Because let's face it, I get it. Keychains are probably just something that you throw in the drawer at night when you come home. Maybe you put them on a hook. If you're really fancy, maybe you put them in a nice leather tray and you forget about them. But let's explore James Bond and the relationship to keychains. And I think you're going to find that this is a much forgotten accessory in the world of Bond. Well, here we have something from Casino Royale. Now, you remember when Bond was at the One and Only Club and he manages to get the stakes really raised pretty high. Oh, I don't know, like a DB5 high. But interestingly enough, the keychain that was tied to the Aston Martin car was not a DB5. It looked very similar to this one right here. This is not an exact replica of that one, but it looked very similar. I think it was a DB9 Aston Martin, but this is close enough. It has that same form and function. From far away, you'd be hard pressed. So, as a little bit of a nod and something a little bit fun, I actually put them on my Aston Martin keys, and this way I start to live the fantasy from time to time. Yes, even No Time to Die is not exempt from the Aston Martin James Bond key fobs. For example, this one right here is an excellent replica, let's get in close, of the one that you see at the Bond in Motion, where clearly Bond has his Aston Martin keys, which ones, we don't know yet, on this fob right here. Now, when I say this is a replica, this metal area right here is an actual metal piece from the Aston Martin keychain, kind of a vintage looking one. You can see it kind of flips up, it works. The fob itself was recreated by a company called Classic Leather Fobs out of England. And it really does look the part. In fact, I wound up getting an extra one of these so I can put my keys on them because damn, it's a No Time to Die prop. It's relatively inexpensive and it's a wicked looking keychain. And I love that green color here. Kind of hoping that this is on the Living Daylights Vantage, but we'll see when the movie comes out. But there it is, James Bond's key fob from No Time to Die. And here's a special bonus from No Time to Die. Yes, there's even promotional items that are keychains. Take a look at this though. This is a multifunction thing. It's not only a keychain, it is also a bottle opener. So you could take your No Time to Die 007 Heineken and you can open it up with this. I'm telling you, what will Q Branch think of next? All right, so technically you'd be hard pressed to say that this was a keychain, but this is the key holder, thus chain, and maybe it's even more like a chain than the other ones that I've shown you, that you see in You Only Live Twice, that Blofeld holds, that activates the bedlam and mayhem that ensues. So there we've got the key as it falls off and causes the world to explode. This is real, folks. But there is the key with the attachment that connects to Blofeld's, who knows what, inner pocket? Someone below in the comments can tell me. But there you have it. Now, what would a keychain video without talking about promotional keychains be? So we've got a couple that we're actually going to show you right now. We'll kind of stack them out because some of them are really fun. Some of them are purely promotional. Some of them were giveaways. And some of them you could just find in gift shops. And as you can see, there's quite an array. So we have this right here that was given out. This was and is still a light. It's amazing that this still works because this was given out around Quantum of Solace. You can see it's got some really interesting things. Almost looks like something that Q Branch would give you if you wanted to tell every bad guy in the world that you were 007. Here's one that we actually bought up at Pitt's Gloria, Shilthorn. You can see it. Actually, it's marked. It's made out of wood. It's obviously a knife. It's amazing that you could take this and bring it on a plane. But somehow we snuck this into our luggage. And I like that little bit right there. I don't even know if they have these anymore, but it says 007 film location. All right, come on. That's pretty cool. And of course, it is a keychain. This is going back a little bit as well, but it was, I believe, a Japanese offering. obviously showing Sean Connery and the DB5 connected to a keychain. And let's get up close and personal. Some pretty good detail. I'm digging it. And it's kind of just fun and whimsical. Well, how's this? All right, so you have your badge to get in and out of work. Well, there is a place to put your badge and show off that you love 007 with your keys, or you could also simply use it as a garrote and choke somebody. Let's not do that. This is something from the Spy Museum. It's kind of a stubby looking DB5, but it's a keychain. And here was another one that was around Skyfall, where you could have multiple keys on a leather fob. Very nice. These are some beautiful keychains that came out. You obviously have the Jaguar. You've got the Aston Martin DB10 right here. You've got a gold version of the DB5. And my newest acquisition, the Golden Gun from the man with the golden gun. How cool is that? I'm afraid to use this as a real keychain. In fact, I'm a little reticent to use any of these because they're so beautiful in their displays. Obviously from Spectre. Let's put that puppy back in there. And you could see some of the amazing detail. I mean, these are like beautiful, highly stylized collector pieces in and of themselves. Beautiful packaging. So I don't have the heart to start scratching this up in some sort of car somewhere. And look at that DB5. Wowie, wow, wow. Is that gorgeous? I'll stop twisting and twirling it for a moment so you could really take a look at that. To me, this is small, but pretty fascinating. There was the opening of the elements in Solden, the 007 elements that you could see here on the tag. And a few of us crazy people were invited. And this was one of the souvenir pieces. It's a keychain, but it's got all the different markings that you would need to say, yep, that was a location that I went to in Solden in Austria, 007 related. It's called Elements. And here's a nice thick piece of metal to remember that moment, tied with a very engaging tag. So again, nice remembrance of the location and a highly stylized keychain that I can drop on the ground. These two keychains really have some interesting connection. First of all, this is one that clearly came out for Spectre, to focus on Spectre. It's a leather strap keychain. You could see the markings below. But what really stood out to me is this from Bond in Motion. It is the license plate, the BMT 216A. But look at that. It's got all the changes on this. To me, this is just so uber cool. Really nice. Obviously 007 Goldfinger number plate key ring. It is such a memory from Goldfinger, so whether you have the car that you want to put this on or you just want to have it as a connection to Goldfinger, there it is. Really, really well done. All right, so there was a bit of a journey. We went all over the place. We went promotional, we went gifting, we did actual movie. But hold on a second, you're saying to yourself, David, where is probably the most memorable keychain that Bond had? And that is the Phillips key finder, the whistling one that you whistle and you find it from the Living Daylights. Where is it? It's not in my collection. I had one, I had a version, and I don't have it anymore. So somebody out there needs to make a replica of these pretty soon so I can complete this collection and even complete this video. But you remember the part where Bond gets this as a gadget. He winds up using it in a couple of really appropriate places, and it's got that whistle that turns it on and off. Yeah, it's a really cool Bond prop. And the nice thing about it is that Timothy Dalton, because he plays a slightly more serious Bond, really gets away with it and has a little bit of fun with it, but also really makes it like a badass gadget as well. Well, there you have it. And it's amazing because the smallest of things can really create the biggest impact moments. I think that's the takeaway speaking about keychains in the James Bond franchise. Thanks for joining us on this discussion. This has been David Zaritsky for the Bond Experience. We'll see you real soon. Take care. Thanks for watching this episode. If you want to be up on the latest from the Bond Experience, just click on this subscribe and subscribe to our channel. You're going to get all the latest and greatest information, plus some exclusive content. And by the way, speaking of content, here's something especially for you, just because we know you. Talk to you soon.